right, today I'm talking about a phrase I heard as a child all the time: coulda, woulda, shoulda. So I don't know if this was a Danish thing. Maybe it was. Um, but I remember my grandmother and my mom occasionally, I mean, not all the time, but occasionally, when I would be whining and complaining about something, about I wish I would have done this or I wish I would have done that, they would always say coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I think that may have been a trend in the 60s and 70s. Maybe it became a popular phrase or saying. But I think it's also the kind of sing-songy thing that a mother or a maternal grandmother would say to somebody who was whining, right? Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Pick yourself up and move on. I was thinking of all the times in immigrant ancestry that most of us have. I mean, from both sides of my family, they were immigrants. And thinking through that, they must have had a lot of tough times, right? Hard times. And probably always thinking that they could have done something different or should have done something different, maybe made a different decision. But you know what? That doesn't put food in the ground. That doesn't plant. That doesn't take care of the animals. That doesn't keep the place warm in the winter. So when you're faced with survival, you don't have time to be dwelling on the mistakes of your past. So I can see how a phrase like coulda, woulda, shoulda would suddenly come out, right? It's like, quit your belly aching and get out there and, shear the sheep or whatever it happened to be. But I have thought this through a little bit. In my life, there have been several instances where I've just made mistakes or made the wrong move or been faced with a decision that was and made the wrong decision. So I remember a few years ago, I had a career decision to make, and I had to choose between two paths, and I picked one after what I thought was careful analysis. And it was definitely the wrong decision. I should have went with my instinct, but I went with what was safe. And I do feel a little, regret about that. But the funny thing is I could still, to this day, right now, I could still go decide to do that thing that I originally wanted to do. But I'm not doing it. So it doesn't make sense for me to sit here and regret my past decision when even today, in my current mindset, I might have made the same decision. Right? So why keep torturing myself with regret when no, you didn't do it? Like, for example, I had a chance to buy a higher end house than I did in this one neighborhood. Or I potentially could have bought two houses in that same neighborhood. I didn't because I was penny pinching and I was nervous about money. But if I would have done that the value of those houses today would be a lot more money than they are now. So I look back and I feel stupid, like, almost a little shame, like, man, I should have just pulled the trigger on that. What was I thinking? Stupid, right? But I'm in the same boat now. Like, I could go right now, borrow the money or whatever I had to do, and go buy another house like mine. I could go do that right now. But I know that a real estate person would say, you should do that. Go do that. But that's not my stick. That's not what I do, right? I've never been into that. But I could go do it right now. But I'm not. For the same exact reasons my 25-year-old self didn't buy the two houses or the better house when I was younger. So that feeling of shame of not making the right decision when I was younger is really kind of a waste of time, because I probably wouldn't have even armed with the knowledge I have today, I probably wouldn't have made that same decision. There's so many things in life where we look back and we're like, oh man, I wish. Like, one thing 5 years ago, I started this program where I would do push-ups, sit-ups, and squats every day. And I added one every day. And I got up to doing 365 of those in a row. And I was I actually was in the best shape of my life. I was physically fit and I had energy, because doing 300 push-ups in a sitting broken up by increments of 20. It doesn't take you very long to do, but it is a significant amount of effort to do that, right? You just think about it: 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. That's 5 sets of 20, and then repeat again, 5 more sets of 20, then repeat again, 5 more sets of 20, and then just for good measure, do 3 more. So I was doing that every day. Now it actually surprisingly doesn't take that long. It would take me about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get through 360 of them. So, man, I felt good. It was great. It was a great feeling. Felt awesome. But then after I got to 365, I just decided to stop doing it because, hey, I did it. I got to 365. I'm done. And I let it go. This awesome habit, this powerful habit I had that took me forever to build, to get to the physique that could even do that. And then I let it go. And then slowly the muscle starts to erode away, slowly spending more time in the chair. And then I could probably do 40 or so push-ups in a row, but I couldn't sit here and do 365 of them in 15 minutes. I would die. But man, I feel horrible that I just didn't keep that. If I would have just kept that habit up, man, I'd be like firing on all cylinders right now, right? Like what the hell? But you know what? Rather than sit there and regret that decision, I can do something about it right now. So today, I can do something about it now. So I decided to start my programming over again. As much shame as it brings me to admit this out loud, that I have to start back with my program all over again, I've done it. So now I'm up to 20. So today was day 20. I'm on to 20 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Now, that seems like nothing. Seems like elementary. But you wait. In 20 more days from now, I'll be doing 40 a day. And then 20 days later, I'll be doing 60 a day. And then it won't take very long, and I'll be doing 100 of these a day. And then it will be a significant thing. Then I will start to see the improvement. So you can always make the decision to do what you should have done right now rather than sit there licking your wounds and worrying about the past. You're not Doctor Who. You're not going to go back into your past and fix something. It ain't going to happen. So get over it. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Get on with your life and do the right thing. Bye.